Yesterday, we deployed a Prometheus stack in a Kubernetes cluster using Helm. Right? If you see, add this Prometheus stack in a monitoring namespace. This Helm chart contains a lot of YML files. It has deployed all these applications. It has deployed a Prometheus server, node exporter, alert manager, kube state metrics. If you see, it has created a service of type cluster IP by default. It has created a service of type cluster IP. For node exporter, it is cluster IP type. Basically, it's a none headless service because the node exporter, basically the Prometheus has to talk to each and every node exporter, right? So it's a headless service without load balancer. And we created a ingress rules yesterday to access this application, right? We created this ingress rules. So we were facing some issue. What is the problem, right? Let me replicate that. So as of now, I created a ingress rules, right? The ingress rules I created in this namespace, kubectl get ingress. In this namespace, right? And our application is running. Our Prometheus Grafana is running in this namespace. And we created ingress rules in the default namespace. So we are getting this error when we access prometheus.mithuntechdevops. Right? So we created in a default namespace and we were in a this namespace also. That's why we were getting that error. That ingress rule, right? We created in a default namespace as well as in a monitoring namespace yesterday, right? We were getting that error. So you just create this one only in the monitoring namespace. You delete this in the default namespace, that ingress rule. If you see, if I'm deleting ingress in the monitoring namespace, now I have in a default namespace. Now we will get error. That ingress rules. Now I don't have ingress rules in a monitoring namespace. I have in a default namespace. So we are getting this 502 bad gateway. Right? And apply this one in monitoring namespace, and it will get confused, right? We have same rules in a this namespace and this namespace, so still it will not work. That is what we faced the problem yesterday. Now let me delete those rules in a this in a default namespace. So now let me access. Now if you see, it's working. So that was the problem yesterday, right? So that is what the problem. If you want communicate with the services which are in a different namespace, you have to give a fully qualified name. Suppose it has to communicate with the services which are in a different namespace. You have to give a fully qualified name. The service name should be some start monitoring that namespace. It will be something like this: service name dot namespace name dot something like this. SVC dot something like this. This we call it as a fully qualified name. So in that case, you need to give something like this. We can communicate the services which are in a different namespace, but that time you have to give a fully qualified name. Something like this. Service name, namespace name dot svc dot local. This is fully qualified name. So if I do something like this, it can communicate with, even though it is in a different namespace, it can route the traffic to this namespace. So now this is my Prometheus application. Similarly, I have a alert manager application. This is my alert manager application. Do I have any alerts as of now? Here it will show the alerts. Do I have any alerts as of now? Because I have not at all created the alert rules. First of all, I have not created alert rules. Did I created alert rules in Prometheus? Like, if so and so part, like, if the node is having this much CPU utilization, trigger alert. Did I define any alert rules as of now in the Prometheus? No. It is just gathering. It is just gathering the required data. Now Prometheus, we can execute some kind of a query, PSQL, Prometheus query language, right? So here, if you see, it is going to get all the metrics. If you see this cube, whatever start with cube, these metrics are gathered by from which target? The Prometheus has gathered lot of information. This is one metric. This is one metric. This is one metric like this. So this is gathered by the cube state metrics. Now, if you see, I can use this information. This is one metric, something like this, cube, or let me use this node metrics. So this is gathered by the node exporter. The Prometheus has gathered this information from the node exporter. Now I can see what is the CPU, what is the memory, right? File system details, all those things. Node memory details, all those things. Node memory available bytes. Node memory total bytes, something like this. This metric will give total memory. This metric will give available memory. So node memory total bytes, something like this. I need to type. Node memory so if I execute now, how many records I am able to find here with this metric? There are two. So why I am having two records? Basically, how many nodes I have as of now? Two nodes. So this is total memory available, somewhere around 8 GB. Somewhere around 8 GB. This is total memory available. If you want to see free memory, there will be a metric for that. This free. Now how much memory is available as of now? In one of the node, approximately 4 GB. In another node, approximately 3.7 GB. Right? So it is going to gather all these metrics. Right? So basically, this is one metric. This is one metric, which will, who gathered this metric? Prometheus gathered the metrics. So similarly, like it has gathered a lot of metrics. If you see, like memory, CPU, like all those things. And if you want to see Kubernetes information, like you have a kube state matrix which has gathered that information, right? You can gather something like kube pod information. If you see, like all the parts information it has gathered, right? So it is gathering all the metrics. So master node is also node. Don't get confused with the node. Node is basically what? A exporter, node exporter. Whatever metrics you see, it is gathered, right? Whatever you see like node, that is one node. That can be a master node, that can be a worker node. If you have a node exporter deployed, right? If you have a node exporter deployed, then it will gather the information from the master node also. So this is node exporter is for gathering the server metrics. Suppose if you want to gather application metrics, you need to deploy the like kind of a exporter in your application. Like as I told yesterday, someone was asking, right? So if you want to gather the information from JVM, you need to have a metrics, that exporter in your application. So it is basically the exporter which will gather the information. For gathering the node information, the hardware information, we are using node exporter. For gathering the Kubernetes cluster information, we are using cluster kube state matrix. Suppose you want to gather some database, that application, database application or Java application, right? You need to have that exporter deployed in your application also. So that it will, the Prometheus will, contact that target and it will pull the metrics. So it is all about exporter, right? Suppose if you want to gather your Spring Boot application, there is a exporter, that JVM exporter yesterday we shown, right? So if apply that dependency, have a dependency of that exporter in your Spring Boot application, right? So that the exporter will send the required details of about that JVM, that application, right? It is the exporters. Now we can apply some queries here. We can apply some queries, like let me show that. Kind of a expressions. As of now, we have not created any rules, alert rules, right? If you see, we can apply some kind of a queries here, like rules. Now this is one expression. So here, if you see, I'm trying to get the Kubernetes nodes. There is a, metric called Kubernetes node. So if you see, if my node is down, any node is down, the value will be 0. Now I can trigger alert based on this. If this is double equals to 0, up, Kubernetes nodes double equals to 0. If there is any node which is down, like not reachable, in that case it will match. If there is any node which is down, based on this, can I trigger a alert? Suppose if any node is down, I can trigger a alert based on this. If there is any matching with this, right, I can trigger a alert. I can trigger alerts for pod status also based on the pod. If pod is in a crash loop back off, if pod is not working, if it is not running, I can trigger a alert, right? You need to, you can trigger alerts based on these metrics. Now if you see, this is one expression. What I am trying to do here, this is one metric, this is one metric, this is another metric, like some kind of a expression. Now what is the current utilization? Something like this. Node memory available bytes, node memory total bytes, something like this. So this is the utilization it is using. Now suppose if my utilization is greater than, like, now it is kind of a reverse, guys. Now this is available memory. If you just reverse this, it is some wrong calculation. So it is like available memory. Now how much is available? Like it is 88% it is available in one server. Memory available bytes, memory total bytes into 100. So it is going to give how much is available as of now. And if it is less than 15%, can I trigger an alert, something like this? Suppose currently this much is available, right? If available memory is less than 15%, can I trigger alerts if any server is having, like, less than 15% memory available? As of now, we don't have anything which is available less than 15. If I have anything which is less than 15, can I trigger an alert before it is, like, the things are getting worst? As of now, it can scale up, scale down because we have a cluster autoscaler. But even after having a, maximum servers, even after maximum servers, there is lot of CPU utilization, memory utilization. Even after having maximum servers, still there is lot of memory utilization on your servers. Some servers are having less than 15% or less than 10% memory available. In that case, can we trigger alerts so that we can take some action? The support team, the operations team can take some action before the things are getting worst. So we can apply, we can create alerts, right? Suppose if you see, if any pod is in pending state, right, you can trigger alert. If any volume, if volume is not created, volume is also in a pending state or failed state, it can, we can match, right? Now if it is something like this, if you see greater than 0, the condition, as of now there is no value which is in pending state. If it is greater than 0, like, which means it is in a failed state. So we don't have any values which are in pending state. Now, if any pod is not running, in running state, right? We can trigger a alert, something like this. I think I have missed this. So, if any pod is in a pending state, right, for greater than 5 minutes, right, more than 5 minutes, we can trigger a alert, something like this. So, if you see now, do you see one pod is in pending state? This one, or basically it is like, it is not running. If you see, we have one pod, it is crash loop backup, Java web app pod, right? Do you see these are in crash loop backup, right? Do you see, is it reporting that? Is it gathering that information? Now, it is, now there are two pods which are not running. Can I trigger a alert so that the operations team can look into this issue? Like as a DevOps engineer, as a support guy, like why these pods are not running, why it is in a crash loop backup, right? Continuously for 5 minutes, right? More than 5 minutes if it is in pending state, right? So is this monitoring will help to maintain our applications, our clusters highly available by monitoring this, right? So we can use whatever metrics you want to use, something like this, whatever metrics it is gathered by the Prometheus. Now, is it user friendly? Suppose I want to see my overall status, like what is the CPU utilization of my servers, how many servers are there, what is the memory utilization, right? Or I want to see my Kubernetes information, how many deployments are there, how many pods are there, is there any pod which is in pending state, right? Is this user friendly? So it's a monitoring software and alerting software. It's a monitoring software, it's alerting software. But I want to visualize in a nice dashboard. I want to visualize in a nice graphical user interface. That is where Grafana comes into picture. So we have not deployed Grafana as of now. We have not deployed Grafana as of now. Let me deploy the Grafana. So Grafana is again available as a Helm chart. So let me deploy something like this. Now I will not change the service type as node port. Instead, I will use ingress rule. So let me install Grafana, the Helm chart. I'm installing Grafana Helm chart in a monitoring namespace. Now I will create a ingress rule. I will create a ingress rule for this. If you see, now Grafana is also running, Prometheus stack is also running. Now Grafana related Kubernetes objects got created now. If you see, the Grafana pod is also running now. So the Grafana is deployed as a deployment. Grafana pod is running. There is a service for Grafana. Now I want to access this outside. What I can do, I can create a rule, ingress rule here. Let me do something like this. host Grafana dot Mithun Tech devops.co.in is my domain host. Paths all are running on a root context. There is no path. Basically, you don't need to give a path pattern. All are running on a root context. This application are running on a root context. So backend. So my backend is service name, service name, and service port. Service port is 80. I think service name is Grafana. Let me check. What is the service name? So service name is what? Grafana. Okay. So I have given correctly. Now let me apply this. I will apply this in a monitoring namespace. Now I have to do the DNS mapping. As of now, I have not done this grafana.mithuntechdevops.co.in in the Route 53 of AWS. So let me do that. So grafana.mithuntechdevops.co.in. So I'm mapping with my load balancer. This is Ingress load balancer. This load balancer is talking to the Ingress pods. So where we have defined the ingress rule, that ingress controller will use those rules to route the traffic to the service. Now, let me access. So this is the Grafana homepage. Now the default username is admin. Now the default password is captured as part of this config maps or secrets. So there is some secret created when we deployed that Grafana Helm chart, right? Grafana Helm chart, right? So there are some secrets created. So the password is part of this secret. Okay. So I'm going to get the secret by executing this command. I'm decoding. I'm going to get the password. So this is the default password of that Grafana. So now this is my Grafana homepage. So Grafana can talk to any backend. Grafana can talk to a lot of backends, right? It is not only for only Prometheus. It can talk to a lot of data sources. It can talk to a lot of data sources like InfluxDB, Grafana, and lot of other stuff. Sorry, InfluxDB, Prometheus, and all of that. First, I need to configure my data source. This Grafana should talk to the which data source. First, I need to configure the data source. Since I am doing it for the first time, right? Go to this here, settings button. You have a data sources. So here, I need to add a data source for this Grafana. If you see, as I told, Grafana can talk to a lot of data sources like Prometheus, GraphiteDB, InfluxDB, right? Lot of data sources, right? So now, what is my data source as of now? I want to Grafana should talk to the Prometheus. So let me select this. Now here I need to give the Prometheus URL. So what I need to do? Do I need to give a IP address of my Prometheus pod, or do I need to give a node IP node port, or do I need to give load balancer, or can I give a service name, because Grafana also running as a pod, Grafana also running as a pod, right? Can I give a service name? So the service name, because Grafana also running as a pod and Prometheus also running as a pod, right? Now I can give a service name, the Prometheus service name. I no need to give IP address or all those stuff here. This is my service name for Prometheus. I'm just giving something like this. Now test the connectivity. Now is it able to talk to Prometheus? If it is not able to talk, you'll get an error. Let me give something else. Now do you see? Is it able to talk to Prometheus when I give like wrong? So we can test the connectivity, right? Save it. Now Grafana is configured with Prometheus as a data source. Now here we can have a dashboards. As of now, there is no dashboard, Grafana dashboards. Basically, Grafana dashboard is nothing but it will have some, like panels, and it will have that, queries, that Prometheus queries to fetch and show the details in a nice UI. So I need to add a dashboards. So you can get a dashboards from the community. You can dashboards from the community, like there is a, people, community people, they have they have prepared some dashboards which you can take from the Grafana official website, grafana.com dashboards. You can take the dashboards from here, or you can write your own dashboards. You need to use queries, and you need to prepare like what type of, like whether you want to show it in a chart, pie chart or graph, some kind of a, UI. So here you can get the dashboards. If you see like node exporter, we are using node exporter, right? We can use this dashboard. You will have some dashboard ID for a dashboard, something like this, 1860. This is the ID, or you can, like, it will be in the JSON format, guys. Let me show that in the JSON format. It is like all the queries, right? It will have like, some kind of a panel, what panel, and queries, what needs to be displayed there. It is in the JSON format, right? If you see same expression, these are Prometheus metrics. So we can use this ID here. Go to your Grafana dashboards, manage, right? Here I can import the dashboard. I can import the dashboard using that ID, or I can upload the JSON file, whatever. Like if I want to write my own dashboard, I can write. So I'm loading this ID. And what is the backend here? Prometheus. I'm selecting that backend Prometheus here. Now I can see here in a nice visualization. Now suppose some non-technical guys also there, will they able to understand what is happening in your server now by looking at this dashboard? What is the CPU utilization, what is the memory utilization, right? How much file system is there, how much RAM is there, from how long the server is up, how many cores of CPU is there. By looking at this, like, can we at least like understand what is happening currently, what is happening inside our server in the real time, what is happening in our servers inside the server. Now if you see how many servers I have as of now, this is the information about one server. If I want to look into the other server, I can select this one. You can look into this server, right? Your CPU metrics, memory utilization, right? CPU load, right? What is the CPU utilization? Network statistics, right? Memory information, all those information, it is visualizing in a nice dashboard. But is Grafana is gathering all this information? Is Grafana is a monitoring software? No. Grafana is connecting to the Prometheus, and using those metrics, we are showing it in a nice visualization. We are trying to show in a nice visualization here. Now, I can check here what is happening in last 15 minutes in my server, or what is happening in last 12 hours, 24 hours. Like, it will maintain the data in a time series database. Prometheus will maintain a data in a time series database. So we can query based on your requirement. Suppose last 1 hour your server is not properly working, right? You can analyze what is happening in what happened in last 1 hour, right? When I apply this filter, right, it will show only last 1 hour details. So how can we, like, we can apply last 1 hour details. This is node metrics. This is node hardware. It is not a Kubernetes metrics dashboard, right? So this is for a node, your hardware metrics. So you need to implement a dashboard for a Kubernetes if you want to see Kubernetes information. This dashboard is using whatever metrics is gathered by the node exporter. This is your hardware related data. So similarly, you can have another dashboard. You can have another dashboard like whatever gathered by Kubernetes state metrics. Suppose if you want to see ingress controller related, right? We have a Nginx ingress controller, right? You can deploy this. You can import this dashboard. So this is not working with the latest one because whatever queries has been used, it may vary from one. The dashboard, the queries may vary based on the whatever version of Prometheus we deployed. This is not working. So let me show you the other dashboards. Like, so here I can search based on the data source type. Like, the data source is Prometheus, right? We can search all these things, whatever, right? If you see, there is a node exporter. This dashboard you can use. Suppose you want to gather the information about the Kubernetes, right? So you can use this Kubernetes export for Prometheus. This is basically in a Chinese language. You can search here. Something like this. Kubernetes like deployment stateful set and daemon sets information, right? So you can use this dashboard, this ID. So it will gather the information about it, the queries, whatever panels has been prepared, it is going to use whatever metrics is gathered by that, kube state metrics. Something like this. It is going to gather the information about like your pods, right? The pod information, the deployment information, right? If you see here, I can look for this Java web app deployment, right? If you see 100% unavailable replica, what does it mean, guys? Do I have any pod in this deployment, Java web app deployment? Do I have any pods up and running as of now? So this dashboard is using what metrics? Is it using the node exporter metrics? Node exporter is basically your hardware information, right? Your server information like networks, CPU, memory, all those things. This is using what metrics? Whatever metrics is gathered by which exporter is we deployed to gather the Kubernetes information, Kubernetes cluster information. Which metric we deployed, which application we deployed. So Prometheus is gathering the Kubernetes cluster information using which one? Yesterday when I explained, we discussed. We have exporters, right? Node exporter is exporting node related information, server information only. So who is exporting all the Kubernetes cluster information? Prometheus is contacting which target? Not a metric server, not node exporter. Karthik, I told node exporter is only node information, hardware information. Did we discuss yesterday? There is a kube state. There is a application called kube state metrics. Kube state metrics, right? Didn't we discuss yesterday what is kube state metrics? So it's a exporter for a Kubernetes cluster. So we deployed kube state metrics. Kube state metrics is talking to the API server, and Prometheus is talking to the kube state metrics to gather the information. Now, if you see, I can see the deployments, how many deployments are there. Now, let me select this Prometheus server, right? So, Prometheus server available, one replica is available, it is up and running. Now, if I have any stateful sets or any daemon sets, I can see here the Nginx ingress also running as a daemon set, right? Now, it is going to show all this information here. Similarly, like you can have some dashboards. I have given some sample dashboard IDs here, right? Let me import these dashboards. But again, right? Do we need to, write all these dashboards on our own? Or again, are you going to completely work on the monitoring software? That depends, guys. In each and every organization, sometimes there will be a dedicated team, only their expertise in setting up the monitoring softwares. But in some kind of a small organization, small MNCs, we may need to take care. So in some organizations, you will have a like dedicated team who will completely working on setting up the monitoring softwares, setting up alertings, setting up these kind of a dashboards, right? Experts in the monitoring area, right? But in some small organizations, we need to take care everything, right? So we can have some dashboard, something like this. By looking at this, we can understand what is happening in our server. If you see, this is one dashboard. What data it is using, whatever data is gathered by that node exporter, it is node related information. I have these many servers. This is the CPU utilization. This is the memory utilization as of now, right? I can see all this data. So similarly, you can apply a dashboards, your own dashboards if you have, right? Something like this. Let me apply this. Let me load this. So here it is going to show pod wise what is the CPU utilization. Like I have these many pods, right? What is the CPU utilization? If you see, this pod is taking how much CPU request, this pod is taking how much CPU request, right? Memory. So this is taking how much memory, request and limits. We have set the request and limits, right? So it is showing all those information, right? Similarly, you can apply. Let me import one more file. Now here, will I able to see what is happening, how much memory is taking each pod, what is the memory usage as of now, right? If something went wrong, like last night, I can see what was the memory utilization, CPU utilization last night from last 24 hours on these pods, right? So I can see what is happening here in the pod level. If you see, I have these many pods. So this is using what metrics? Who gathered these metrics? So these metrics is gathered by cube state metrics. That right, we can have a dashboards. So we can visualize what is happening in our Kubernetes cluster also. So non-technical guys can use this one to visualize what is happening in your application, in your servers, real time. Now let's come back to alerting. As of now, do I have any alerts? Now there are two parts which are in crash loop backup. Am I getting any alerts? Now there are two parts which are in a crash loop backup. So now we need to configure the alerts. Now, if you see Prometheus, in Prometheus, we need to configure the alerts because Prometheus has the data. Prometheus has the data. Prometheus will have an alert engine. So whenever the condition is satisfied, what Prometheus will do if I have created an alert, if I configured an alert in a Prometheus, what Prometheus does? Prometheus will push the alerts to which system? Prometheus will push the alerts to the which system? To the alert manager. To the alert manager. In the alert manager, what we can do? We can configure the notifications. In the alert manager, we can configure the notifications, like whether I want to send a like Slack notification, whether I want to send a email notification. We can configure those things. As of now, do you see any alerts I have configured here in the Prometheus? Is there any active alerts, pending alerts, fine? Because no alerts defined. So now, as I told, what is the important file in the Prometheus? So Prometheus is running as pod. Prometheus is running as pod. Prometheus is running as a pod. Inside this, we have some file. In this is in a monitoring namespace. So it will have some this pod has, if you see, this pod has how many containers, guys? If you see here, what is the meaning of this 2 by 2? How many parts we have, how many containers we have within this? There are 2 containers, right? Now, if I want to execute this on a specific container, I need to use -c. What is -c stands here? Container, right? So let me describe this pod. Let me describe this pod. It has 2 containers within it, right? This is one container. This is another container, Prometheus server. This is another container. Now within this, I want to execute some command. So now there will be some file within this pod, right? So if you see the cube, this one, like etc config this Prometheus file, right? So this file will have all the rules. As of now, how this file has been used are mapped to this one as a value. If you see this etc config, the is etc config, this folder within this pod, right, is mapped with some value. So that value is what basically we created a config map, and that config map as is mapped as value. Now if you see, there is a config map within that namespace. If you see, we have a config map, this Prometheus server config map. So here, this is the this is mapped with that pod, this Prometheus.yml. As of now, do you see any alert rules, right? Do you see any alert rules defined in this, right? This is mapped as a volume. This file is mapped as a volume, right? Do you see any alert rules as of now? No, right? So now we will update this config map to define the alerts, right? So now what I am going to do, I am going to use this YML, basically this YML file, this one. This is basically that Prometheus values file, the Helm chart values file. So here I am creating one YML file. Now here I am defining the alert manager related information also. I am trying to configure email notification, and here I am defining the alert rules also. Now I am creating alert rules also. Now here, while configuring email, try to give your mail IDs. As of now, we don't have any SMTP. I am using Gmail SMTP. So I want to send a mail to this one. And from mail ID, I want to, this is my from mail ID. So let me update the, this is like username and identity, basically your from mail ID only. And whatever password, something like this. So this is also created as a config map internally, right? So this config map will be used by alert manager application. So this config map will be used by whatever we are defining here, like this will be used by the Prometheus, right? Let me double check my mail IDs once. So this is my from mail ID, like this is to mail ID, DevOps training Bangalore, this one. So here I want to send a mail to this one, this mail ID. And from mail ID also, let me double check. This is my to mail ID which I am trying to use. So let me give those properly here. Now, since you already used the Gmail SMTP in your Jenkins and all, guys, since it's a Gmail, it's not a official office SMTP details. What you need to do in your Gmail settings, right? You already know, right? What you need to do, right? You need to enable that less secure apps, right? This is my to mail ID. From this mail ID, I want to send a notifications, right? So I need to enable, go to manage account, security, right? Here you will have a, you have to on this one, right? Let me send, it is sending some verification code. Let's enable this. Okay. Now I have enabled this one. Since it's a Gmail, right? We need to we have to do this one. Now I have enabled this less secure apps for that mail ID. Whatever mail ID I'm using as a to mail ID. Sorry, from mail ID. So this is sorry. So here this is to mail ID. This is my from mail ID. In the from mail ID, like I have logged in and I have enabled the less secure apps. Now this is my Helm chart values file. Now I will upgrade the Prometheus. How can I upgrade the Prometheus with this values file now? What command I can use? Now I already have a Prometheus installed as a Helm chart. What command I can use? Now I want to update my Prometheus with the latest those values so that it will update your config map and your pods will be reloaded with those config maps so that your pod will have a alerts rules. Now what can I do? We can use Helm upgrade, Helm upgrade this Prometheus, and your chart name also you need to give stable/Prometheus. Now I want to use these values. And this is in which namespace? This is in monitoring namespace. Now I am upgrading this Prometheus. So this values file will be used as part of a Helm chart and it will update your config maps like the Prometheus, whatever config map used by Prometheus and whatever config map used by Alert Manager. Now let me upgrade. Now if you see those config maps, right? The config maps has been updated, so your pod will use the latest config map. Now if you see this Prometheus server config map, now do you see these alerts rules now? In the config map, this config map is mounted as a value to the Prometheus. Now if you see the alert manager config map also, this alert manager config map, so here my alert manager configuration rules also has been defined here, right? Now let me show my Prometheus now. Let me refresh this page. Now do you see? I have some alerts here. These are my total alerts. Out of that, how many alerts are active? What is the meaning of active? There is the alert condition is matched. So now do you see how many alerts are active? What is this? Why it is showing as an alert here? What is the problem here? What is this alert? Basically, we have a pod which is not running, which is in like crash loop backup. Now the condition is satisfied. Now if this is continuously it will observe for 2 minutes, it will fire a alert. As of now it is not fired, it is in this state. Once it will fire, will I able to see that alert in alert manager here? Once Prometheus fires this alert, now can I see the alerts here, guys? Like whatever alerts I have configured. Now all these alerts, as of now, I don't have any low memory nodes, right? As of now, I don't have any issues with volumes. I don't have any issues with the instances. All the instances are up and running. Only I have an issue with these pods. The pods are in not running state. Now it will fire this alert after some time. Now do you see it's fired now? From pending state it went to fired state. Now it's firing the alert. So this alert will be pushed to which one now? If I refresh here, now do I see that alert here? Now I have one alert here. The pod is crash loop, right? Now what this alert manager will do? I have configured my alert manager with notifications. Will it send a email notifications now? This alert manager. So now let's see, unless until you have issues with your Gmail settings, right? Now you will get a errors. Now if you see already turned on, so let's wait for some time. If alert has been not triggered, you can check the logs. Which logs you can check so that why alert has been not triggered? Who is responsible for sending a notifications? So let me check the logs of this alert manager. This alert manager logs. So it has multiple parts again. I want to see this. Sorry, it has multiple containers. I want to see the logs of this container. -c Prometheus alert manager. Now, since I am using Gmail, right, it is trying to give some error. If you see, it is not able to send. So now let me access this URL. Let me access this URL. So it is trying to trigger a mail, but Gmail is not allowing me to trigger the mail. Let me access this URL. Sorry, this one. Only till here. I may need to do some more settings in Gmail. My username password is correct, right? This is also done. Allow less secure apps is also done. And maybe try to unlock the captcha. My username password is correct. I have enabled the less secure apps, right? For this account, I am using this one, right? So I have enabled the less secure apps. Use this one. This is the 2 ID I used, right? So my username password is correct. I have enabled the less secure apps. If you see, I have enabled this less secure apps. This is related to Google issue. I have enabled the less secure apps. This is turned on. Still, if you have an issue, Let me unlock the captcha. Now let me see if I able to, like, if I get a mail. This is problem with the Gmail, guys. If you are using Gmail, this is the problem, right? I have done all the settings. Let's wait for some time if you get a alert. Let me do this. I am going to use only that mail ID, two mail ID. Now let's wait for some time. Now it should be able to send a mail. Yeah. Now it is, the notify is success, right? I should be able to see a mail to the whatever mail ID I have used. So let me log into this. I think I use this one only. So let me log into this. This is the two mail ID I used. Now do I see a Prometheus alert triggered, right? And it is reporting that the pod, this pod is in crash loop backup. So if I get an alert, so that as a operations guy, as a support guy, I can troubleshoot why this is in crash loop backup so that I can fix the issue. Similarly, whatever alerts I have defined, if any condition is satisfied, whatever alerts I have defined here, it will trigger the alerts, right? If we have a low memory, if node is down, whatever alert is satisfied, this Prometheus will push the alerts to alert manager. The alert manager will fire the alerts, right? So this is, I got an alert, right? There are two pods which are in pending state, so I got two alerts. So this is how you can use Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring your servers, your Kubernetes cluster, your applications, something like this. So in the interview, they're asking just like what monitoring softwares you are using, right? They're not asking like in detail about the Prometheus architecture, right? Alert manager, all those stuff. Just sometimes they're asking what alert, like what monitoring softwares you used. Do you have a knowledge about Prometheus? Do you have a knowledge about Grafana? So I thought of covering this one also, which will be helpful for you. This is for a monitoring, guys. And there is a one more kind of a applications which we will use for log aggregation. and log monitoring. What is this? Why we need this log aggregation and log monitoring? So we will have a lot of applications. Each application will generate a lot of log files. We will have hundreds of microservices. One service is talking to another service, right? It is generating lot of log files. Suppose any issue happens in your application, right? The developer want to troubleshoot. What happened in my application? Why this application is not working? So how can the developer will able to troubleshoot? Will he able to do he need to execute Docker logs or kubectl logs in each and every pod or container, whatever the request is navigated? Is it possible, right? If you have hundreds of pods, hundreds of basically up like microservices, how developer can able to visualize the logs at a central location? So for that, there is a different types of softwares like logging, log aggregation, and log monitoring. Have you heard about these softwares like ELK or EFK, Splunk? So what kind of softwares are this? What kind of softwares are this? Basically, this is to gather the logs. The way Prometheus is gathering the metrics about your application, your CPU, memory, whether your application process is running or not. Similarly, we can gather all the logs at a central place, right? So we have one video uploaded in our YouTube channel. I shared the documentation also. So there is a detailed video which we explained how to set up a ELK, Elasticsearch, Kibana, right? So go through this video and try to set up ELK also. There is a video here, this video. Using Helm chart only, we install this application also in the Kubernetes. So it is going to gather all the logs and we can visualize the logs. I already shared the document, guys. Go through this video, right? So that you can understand what is log aggregation. Right? So that's it from my side, guys. So hope like everyone is able to practice all the concepts, whatever is discussed, right? So almost even though we said Kubernetes, we will cover 20 hours. It's almost 30 hours. I think today is the 17th class or 18th class, if I remember correctly. Almost more than 30 hours only. Almost more than 30 hours we discussed only Kubernetes. Like Docker and Kubernetes, both almost like 45 to 50 hours we discussed. These are very, very important concepts. Okay. So that's it from my side, guys. I hope you enjoy the course, right? So next week I will start with Ansible. Okay. So whoever joined only for Dockers and Kubernetes, this is the last session, right? While practicing, if you have any issues, any queries, right? Feel free to post your queries in the Skype group and WhatsApp group, wherever you are. Splunk is not part of our syllabus, Rajshekhar. Just check the syllabus, right? Splunk is not part of our syllabus. Guys, don't expect everything in one kind of a one program. So instead of Splunk, we discussed EFK. Just it is like a same kind of a tool, right, for log aggregation. So tomorrow we don't have a class because tomorrow we have a free Terraform second class. Tomorrow morning 8 o'clock Terraform class is there. Bhaskar is conducting one session, Terraform class 2. So that's why tomorrow we don't have a class, and Sunday also we don't have a class. Try to practice whatever we discussed. So from Monday, I will start Ansible for the complete DevOps students, whoever is attending DevOps complete session. From Monday, I will start with Ansible. Thank you, guys. And again, go through these recordings. The recordings will not available for a lifetime. Maybe recordings will available for next 30 days. All these recordings. So go through the recordings and try to practice once again. Thank you guys. That's it from my side. I'm stopping the session. We'll continue on Monday. Have a great weekend.